So Donnie's over on the multi-Swiss making this spline fitting. He's trying to do it in 11 seconds and we're going to help him out. So how do you make an 11-second part? Well, this is where form tools really help you out. What they allow you to do is do multiple operations in one step using the same tool. That specific operation we're talking about is Donnie's milling out a hex. The reason why this form tool is so important is we want to make this part fast and burr free. Normally when running a part like this, you would rerun your turning tools in order to deburr your hex. So we need an end mill that not only mills our hex, but deburrs it. Because on this machine, you don't really want to go backwards, you always want to progress forward. Right?
Yeah, dude, you nailed it.
Now what he's doing is he's milling out the hex and he needs to put a chamfer. But since his multi-Swiss can't go backwards to deburr the part, we're gonna make him a custom end mill that not only mills out the hex, but puts the chamfers on each side. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna come over to the Walter Helitronic Power 400 and input the measurements from our wheels. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the wheels that we have mounted. On spindle 2, starting from left to right, we have our StarTech XPF. This is going to be a polishing wheel. Mounted on the same spindle, we have a StarTech RC. That's going to be our roughing wheel, and that's how we're going to blow past this carbide. Moving on to spindle 1, the first wheel that's on our wheel pack is going to be a 1v1 wheel, and this is going to be a StarTech HP. This is what's going to create our gashing on the end face. Next to that, on the same spindle, we have an 11v9, and this is going to be a StarTech XP, and this is what's going to create our OD clearances or our in-face clearances. You can find each one of these wheels on titansofcnctooling.com. So now that we've talked about our wheels, the stock that we're going to be using is 3/8 inch in diameter. So we need to go ahead and change out our chuck. So now that we've changed out our chuck, we need to figure out how much we need to stick our tool out. That way we have enough clearance for our grinding wheels. So in order to find out how much I need to stick out my carbide blank, I'm going to come back to the core panel and look for the blank icon. After I select that, I'm going to come down to the block that says chucking length minimum, and I'm going to calculate that. The dimension it's giving me is 3.48. I'm going to go ahead and do a stick out of 3.5 for a little bit extra security. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my 6-inch mid-toyo calipers, and I'm going to go ahead and measure how far out I need to stick my carbide blank. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out 3 inches 500 thousandths, and I'm going to insert my carbide blank, and I'm going to measure out. That way my carbide blank is sticking out 3 inches 500 thousandths. So I know it's sticking out a lot, but since I'm grinding the profile with my 1v1 wheel, I need a lot of clearance. That way I don't hit anything on my chuck. So now that we have our wheels mounted, our carbide to the proper stick out, let's get grinding. So let's break down how I ground this custom end mill. My first operation is going to be a fluting cycle. So I'm going to drop down with my Tyrolite RC wheel. I'm going to do my initial flutes, and that's going to rough out that initial carbide. So after we rough out the flutes, I want to switch over to my Tyrolite XPF wheel and give it a polished edge. So in my simulation, I'm going to highlight my Tyrolite XPF wheel, and I'm going to come over and I'm going to take off 5 thousandths and I'm going to polish the flutes. So now that I roughed and finished my fluting operation, I'm going to come back with my Tyrolite RC wheel and I'm going to create a heel grind. So the heel grind is going to be located on the back surface, and I'm going to grind that with my Tyrolite RC wheel. Now after I rough out my heel grind, my next operation is I'm going to polish it. So I went from yellow to blue in my simulation. That's going to mean I remove material because again I'm going 5 thousandths under what I initially ground. So after I'm on my Tyrolite XPF wheel, I'm going to polish that heel grind. So now that I've done my roughing and finishing operation on my fluting and my heel grind, I'm going to switch over to my 1v1 wheel and I'm going to do my gashing. So what's going to happen is that tool is going to come down, it's going to do my gashing, which is going to happen at the end of the tool on the face. So after my gashing operation, I need to create OD clearances, my primary and my secondary. So with that, on the same wheel pap, I'm going to switch over to an 11V9 or my cup wheel. So I'm going to select my first OD clearance, and that's going to be highlighted in blue. So what's going to happen is that clearance wheel is going to come into the side of that tool and create my primary and secondary clearances. So that tool is just going to rotate into that wheel. So now that my first OD clearance is done, we're going to switch over to my second OD clearance, which is going to be highlighted in orange. And it's going to do the same thing. It's going to come down the side of that tool, and we're going to grind away that OD clearance. So now that our OD clearances are done, we're going to use the same 11V9 wheel or our cup wheel and use that tool for our in-face clearances. So we're going to select in-face clearance. That wheel is going to rotate to the front of that tool, and it's going to come down and it's going to kiss the face of that tool, creating our in-face clearances. So the next thing we're going to do is use that same wheel and do our primary in-face clearance. So our first one's going to be red, the next one's going to be pink. So that cup wheel is going to come to the end face of our tool and create our clearance edge. So now I have a very basic end mill, but this is where the complexity of this custom tool comes in. What Donnie needs is a hex and two 45-degree chamfers. That way he can mill out his hex on his multi-Swiss. So what I had to do is I had to create a user-defined profile. So I came up here to my draft, I selected my user-defined profile, and I drafted up his hex along with his 45-degree chamfers. So what I have is a line going down at 45 degrees that gives him his chamfer. I have a width that's the same width as his hex. And then I have the line coming back up at another 45-degree angle. How I ground that is I use my 1V1 wheel because it has a sharp point, and I got in there and I carved out that carbide to achieve that profile. So if we come up here to our initial clearance profile, you can see I started to make a cut that's going to give me the geometry we're going to need. So that 1V1 wheel is going to come down and it's going to grind out that first clearance profile. So now that I made my initial clearance profile, the next thing I have to do is I have to give it a primary and secondary edge. So I'm going to follow the same tool path and I'm going to keep coming down. That way I can have clearance for chip evacuation. So now my working surface is going to be a light blue, which is going to give me clearance. And I'm going to use the same wheel to grind out that primary clearance. The last thing I need to do is have my secondary clearance, similar to the OD clearances and the in-face clearances. That last clearance is going to be highlighted in pink. So now with the same wheel, it's going to come down, it's going to create that secondary clearance. So now we ran through the entire simulation. Now what we want to do is do a collision check and make sure that everything is in green, that way we don't have any crashes. So we come down here to the little man, we select him, we have all green, that means we're good to go. So now we're going to back up. I'm going to watch the whole simulation play out. So right there we've got our fluting, we've got our finishing. Now we're going to come back and do our hill grind, polish the hill grind. We're doing our gashing. So we're finishing up our OD clearances. Now we're switching over to the end of the tool. We're doing our in-face clearances. So now we're switching over to the 1V1 to carve out the rest of the carbide. So that's how I programmed Donnie's custom end mill. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. All right, we just completed our grind. Let's go check the part on the comparator so we can give it back to Donnie. So first thing I want to look for is, since he's grinding a hex and putting two 45s on either side, I want to make sure I have a 45-degree angle on our right side. So if I bring it over, that looks really good. So now I want to make sure I have a 45 on the opposite flute, which I do, on the left side of the tool. That way he can chamfer and mill out his hex at the same time. So this looks really good. Let's go give it to Donnie so he can get to work. Donnie! Donnie! All right, I guess I'm being Donnie today. Oh man, we're back on the multi-Swiss. Got multiple tools on this thing. What's the door button?
What do you think you're doing?
Made you a tool, bud.
Thanks.
All the stuff I do for you. So projects like this make the Helitronic Power 400 such a versatile machine. It really excels at small production runs and custom jobs like our end mill. So being able to make content like this is all thanks to our supporters and our level 3 members like Vishu. Hope I'm saying that right. If you want to be like Vishu, make sure you check out our Discord, like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.